How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we have with us Conor Kenny. We're going to be talking about the market, talking about exit strategy, and how we're all going to feel like idiots if we do our job correctly. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this as soon as I make them. I'm going to leave a link to Conor's channel underneath the video. Go give him a follow. There's also a link down there to Margex in case you want to trade cryptocurrency on leverage. You can do that. This is kind of an explosive time in the market. As I'm recording this, we just saw Bitcoin hit 70,000, then fall down to 67,000. So this is an interesting time, but in a bull market, leverage trading can be used to amplify your returns to a great deal. So if you want to check out that link, it's not right for everyone, but there's no KYC, and there's a link underneath the video that gives you a deposit bonus. Let's get into the video. How's it going, everyone? Conor, thanks for coming back on the channel. Glad we could get you back to talk about the market a little bit.
What is up, guys? If you could do me a favor and just go and follow my channel so I can one day beat my financial friend here. I need to get more subscribers than him. So I'm only 100,000 off. So if you could just do me a favor and jump over there and hit the subscribe button, it'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll leave all that underneath the video. You can check out his link. But Conor, obviously, like, the market is looking pretty good. Bitcoin is just like tickling the all-time high from the other day. What do you think about this market? A lot of altcoins obviously pumping too.
I am. Wow. It's a hard emotion, isn't it? Because like I'm like so excited and I'm so pumped to see my portfolio, and like I'm like, let me turn off the dollar value so I don't see it because like I'll be too emotional and all of this stuff. So one part of me is extremely excited, and another part of me is there's a little part of me that's like, I'm uncomfortable with how frothy we are, but I'm also like, I didn't want it to come so quickly. We didn't prepare enough for it, but also the fierceness of this move upwards makes me believe that, like, you know, everyone thinks we're going to go higher. So maybe we're just like not going to go higher. You know what I mean? So I've got these, you know, the evil and the nice on my shoulder. So yeah, so it's an interesting time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're obviously like left translated, meaning we're moving into the new all-time high faster than we've moved in any other cycle, if you look at the Bitcoin halving. But I did have someone, like a big influencer the other day, that said like that he doesn't know how we can sustain this for a while. And I was just looking at the last cycle, and after we broke 20,000, like convincingly, like we didn't just touch it and then fall back down. Like after we broke that, we were above 20,000 for years. Like only in the bear market, the next bear market, did we actually fall below it. So it's kind of interesting to think, like, if we break to 75 or 80K, like we might not get back down to this level, 70K, for years. What do you think about that? Like, does that scare you a little bit too, or is that the exciting part?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I guess we just don't know. You know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing that I've always tried to stress on the channel is nobody knows. So if anyone tells you that they know, they're just chatting absolute beep. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what they don't know. No one knows. None of us know. Me and Sam, we will always tell you guys that DCA is the best option. We get a message, you know, now it went from 1 message a week to 10 messages a day now. Is it time to buy Bitcoin, Conor? Conor, should I buy Bitcoin? I've got $1,000. I want to buy Bitcoin or crypto. Should I buy it now? Just relax and dollar cost average, because I cannot tell you what's going to happen next because I have no idea. You know what I mean? I always believed that we were going to hit our old all-time high. Guess what? We're here now. I don't know what's going to happen next. We've never been here.
Yeah. And obviously there are just like a lot of people buying. Obviously the price is where it's at from two things. Obviously people buying and people being excited, and then like retail buying probably. What do you think about like some of the news with the ETFs and all the countries that are possibly getting in? I saw Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, just met with someone from the Middle East yesterday, and he was tweeting about it. Like, what does that mean to you? Do we just keep on flying up, or is that like that's the hype that's bringing us here?
Yeah, I mean, the way it seems in these sorts of markets is all news is already priced in. Do you know what I mean? Like, but that's not to say that this news is priced in. It just, when the news is breaking, it seems to already be priced in. Like, that is kind of a weird concept, but like it's already always priced in. So like Yes, we have a buy the rumor, sell the news event, but it's already priced in. If this ruler buys $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, hey, it's already priced in. Do you know what I mean? Like it's already there. So the fact that all of these people are potentially going to be buying, we're having 10x the amount of Bitcoin bought from the market that's being generated, all super bullish. All of this leads me to believe that we're going to go higher, hence why I haven't sold almost anything, right? Because I don't know, but if I'm going to put a bet on my own money, not your money, my money, I'm going to bet that we're going to go up, right? That's my opinion. So I'm willing to take the risk. Now, to caveat that risk, I always take profits, and I have already taken what I would consider a big chunk of money, but a small percentage of my portfolio. I've already taken it. I'm holding it in cash, and now I'm waiting. And I have most of my portfolio still ready to go on the ride. But then I have this cash that if we have a monumental crash, which at this point I would hate to see, but I'm prepared now. Cool. If it happens, I know what to do. I'm going to deploy.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because like buying is difficult because you could buy at a better time, right? When you're buying in the bear market, we're at 17, you could buy if it falls down to 15, you could get 10% more. But I think emotionally, it's much harder to sell than to buy. Like to sell now means that you could miss out on a 4x on Bitcoin, right? Like and Bitcoin, you know it well, you're bullish on it, but still it can grow to be an outsized part of your portfolio. And then you get uncomfortable with the dollar amount. I know you talked about like turning off the dollar amount. So like for me, I have my HODL bag, but I get paid in crypto from various companies. And I just started to transition to selling that new crypto that I get paid automatically. So it's basically like I'm just getting cash. But emotionally, that's really hard because I'm still super bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'm like, okay, well, this could be worth 4 times more in 12 months. But I think there's some time that you have to transition, and it's probably never going to feel good because no one's going to sell at the top except for the one whale that dumps the market. And those last couple of days are going to be the days that we see 20% gain, 20% gain, 10% gain. And those only last for like a week, like that explosive top. I guess that kind of leads me into my next question. We're talking about buying. We always talk about like what cryptos to buy. Like, let's flip it. What is your plan for selling? Like, when do you get out? And how do you take profits? Are you just selling out everything this bull market?
What cryptos to absolutely dump immediately? Yeah. That's the title. I mean, it's a hard question to answer. Of course, there's nuance to the answers, but essentially, I can tell you the story of the last bull run, and then we can translate that into my plan this time around. But for anyone who doesn't know my channel or anything, I was in the 2017 bull run. I made at the time what I considered an absolutely unbelievable amount of money. I thought that crypto only go up. I thought I was a genius. I thought I knew me. You want me to come into work on time and actually care about my job? Have you seen my cryptocurrency portfolio? Not happening, mate. And that really was the mentality. I thought I was a genius. I thought I knew what I was doing, which will be the emotion of someone who's watching this channel right now who bought Solana at $17 and doesn't realize that it actually was just luck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have even now, I've been here 7 years and I bought Solana at $20 and it was just like a tingling. I'm like, oh, everyone's mad at Solana. We got FTX going on. Everyone thinks that Solana's going lower. Tingling in my head. I reckon that Solana probably has a chance. So I bought some and it went up and that was luck. Right place. I like to say right place, right time, right tools. So it's like, we put ourselves in these situations where we can get the luck, right? I'm not just a random guy who happened to buy it, but I generated a position where I can have this luck. So with that mindset, right, that's what I created from my 2017 experience. I went up and I remember 2018 started. And I was like, yeah, I'm a genius. Then the market started to go down and I actually transferred all of I think it was Bitcoin and some others, all of it into Cardano and a project called ICX, which was dubbed as Korea's Ethereum, right? And I was like, I know what I am doing. Obviously, I put all my money in these. And as we know what happened, boy, it went down 99%, right? So I was below my investment amount at that point. So I was like, I was distraught. I could have bought this. I could have bought that. I could have had this car, that sort of sort of thought process.
Mhm.
Then we fast forward. I did learn. I spent years studying what is the way that we beat this market. How do actual investors beat the market? Well, they don't do short-term trading, for example, always. They do. They get information and they trade it. But what they do is they just dollar cost average into what they, as a trader or investor, believe in. That can be the S&P 500. That can be crypto. That can be property, gold, watches. But what they do is they study the market, they learn the market, and then they slowly get involved in the market. And time in, time out, that's how it worked. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm holding Cardano right now. I think that this is going to do well. So I'm going to invest a little bit of money over time into Cardano, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, into Solana later on, closing in on when the bull market started. And again, I find myself in this position. Wait, hold on a second. I've got loads of magical internet money on my phone again. What do I do? Like, what's the plan here? And this was the point where I started to go a little bit harder on the YouTube channel. I started to make videos almost every day. I was following certain cryptos and it was doing well. And I just remember what happened before. So I had a plan. My plan was I'm going to buy this property, right? So I'm going to buy this unit. It was in Dubai, studio apartment. That was the plan. If I hit this point, and it wasn't my full portfolio, right? It was just using these really high risk plays. If I hit a certain point in my portfolio, I'm going to take out that chunk. And I'm not going to argue with myself. I'm not going to think, what if? I'm not going to say, oh, if I hold it 2 more months. When I hit that point, I'm going to take it out. And also that point was only taking out, I think, about 60 or 70% of what I had in that high risk degen portfolio, separate to my whole portfolio. But my whole portfolio was actually smaller. You know, like my Bitcoin and Ethereum was smaller than the high risk degen. And I pulled it out and I bought the property in cash. I still have it now. It generates me passive income, and it generated me passive income throughout the bear market. And I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? I was wrong. I didn't sell at the right time. There was a big chunk of time in the bull market where I was going, oh, like, oh, it could have been that. It could have been this. It could have been that. But then the bear market happened again. And now my memory of that was, oh my God, thank you so much that I actually just pulled the money out. Like, who cares? Let's say it was $1,000, right? And I sold it for $1,000 and it went at one point to $2,000. And I was like mad. Or let's say it was $10,000. So you actually feel the emotion. And it went to $20,000 for those couple of days where we have peak euphoria. But it's at $15,000. And I'm the idiot who sold at $10,000. Like, what an idiot. But then the money itself went back down to $1,000, and I'm the genius who got $10,000 out. So that's the lesson of the process of which what brought me to where I am now. So in the past bear market, if you followed the channel, I just went super heavy dollar cost averaging into projects that I thought was going to do well. Solana was one of them. Polkadot was another one. Bitcoin and Ethereum, very strong contenders in my portfolio. And then a few smaller caps that I did a lot of research into, and I did big investments into those, right? Big trades into those, and I've held them. And now we're not quite there, but we're getting close to the time where everyone starts to think they're a genius, right? And that's the point. That's the point where you need to decide. And we haven't broken all-time highs yet. And the nuance is the fact that it changes. It's a different thing that's happening every time. So you can't just say, I will, like, my plan is not to sell at X. Like, Bitcoin will be worth $100,000 and I will sell. That's not the plan. The plan will be to assess the market situation. And when I feel like we're getting super euphoric, I'm going to start to ladder out. And I'm going to ladder out directly into investments so I don't feel like I'm missing out. And of course, a property investment might go up 10% a year, and Bitcoin can go up 500% in a year. But the mindset shift for me is I actually don't care. I've made money, and now I'm moving it into safe cash flow generating assets. And that is the way I do it. So I will just, as we head higher, I will just start pulling money out. An example of that is I sold 80% of my miners recently. And those are now cash that I sit on. I will probably just sit on that cash now, unless we have a black swan event where I get a 50% pullback and I'll put that cash back in. But unless that happens, I'll take that cash out and put it into an investment, or if an opportunity arises, I'll invest into that.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. And if you want, as a viewer, go re-listen to that. One thing that I really picked out of that, and I've thought about this myself, like as soon as I sell, I'm probably going to see the price go up and I'm going to feel like an idiot. So whenever I sell, I'm going to feel like an idiot, but a year or two later, I'll be happy. Like I'll be happy that I'm taking profits, unless we just have some super cycle, but I'm still planning on keeping some of my Bitcoin. But altcoins, like I think it's important to realize you shouldn't marry anything. Maybe you marry Bitcoin, right? Everything else you just date. You have a good time, you make some money from it, and you get rid of it for the most part.
And remember that we don't know what will happen. So most likely you're going to be wrong, right? Most likely. But if you're wrong with $10,000 profit sitting in your pocket, that's a hell of a lot better than being wrong and having no money in your pocket because you held it too long, right? And I think that's the, like I get so much of these sort of questions in a bull market. Yeah, but Connor, if you sell now, what if it's worth twice as much tomorrow? I don't care. I'm not selling my whole portfolio. Like the miners that I sold in percent value to my portfolio are maybe 10%. So I sold 70% maybe of 10%. So I sold 7% of my portfolio when the market went up. Another example, I sold Solana at $44 just now, like when we were down there. I couldn't have been more wrong. It did a 4x still from there. But I promise you, there is no part of me that regrets that trade, because at the time I got in at $20 and I doubled my money. I did what a smart investor, in my opinion, would have done, and that is take profits from 100% move. And those profits, I still have a huge bag of Solana, but what if we did drop back down to 20? I would have just bought more. I would have been able to buy more. And I didn't get the chance. So what? I bought a bunch of other altcoins that have now gone up, 4, 5x. So who cares?
And you become desensitized to it. Like I'm sure everyone's this way. If you have a $5,000 portfolio that turns into 30 or 40 grand, and then it starts moving a little bit, you're like, well, it can move up another 10%, 5%. Like you just don't, like, the numbers aren't correlated to how much work that is anymore. So like if crypto went down to zero, like I'd be fine. I'm diversified. But how long would I have to work like a normal job to get back to that level? So like, yeah, when you take profits, it's probably not going to be the best time. You're going to feel dumb. You're going to feel like you're missing out. But then when you look at how much money you made and how important that really is, like you're probably going to be happy that you took some off the table at some point. But yeah, we're looking at it right now too. And Solana's up at 152. Ethereum's right at 4,000. Bitcoin's up at a couple $100.
Solana right now, I'm probably going to take some profit soon because I just don't care. Like, yeah, Solana can go to $300. It can go to $1,000 from here. But if I take I took 10% at $44. Cool. I was wrong. No problem. Another 10% at $150 or 20% at $150. Cool. I'm wrong again. $300. Take more out. Imagine the scenario where Solana does. I can't remember if it was this conversation or not, but Solana does go to $1,000, right? Cool. So if I average 10% out on the way up, I'll probably average my sell price at $500, right? I won't get $1,000, but I don't average it at $100. And then, believe you me, Solana's going back down at the end. Maybe it's just $500. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's $20. Maybe it's actually zero. And you manage to average out at $500 a coin. And you're the genius who's sitting there in a bear market on your yacht, your Lamborghini, like, I'm the man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to even think back to how far some of these fell too. Like, yeah, Bitcoin fell 75%. That was tough. But Solana fell 97%. Like Cardano fell 95%. And think about that. Like you go down 90%, and let's say it goes down 95% overall. You go down 90%, and it goes down another 50% after that. Like it's just a series of losing tons of money, and like it just feels terrible. So better.
And like on that note, to get back to where you were is a 10x. You only lost 95% or 99%, but give or take, it's a 10x. It's 1,000% to get back to where you were. That's one thing that I think people don't. It's the difference in the other way around. It's not 50% to get back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you take a dollar and it goes down 10%, goes down to 90 cents, and it goes up 10%, it goes up to 99 cents. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
like down and up does not equal the same thing in percentage terms. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. I mean, this is an exciting market. Obviously, we're going to be idiots when we sell. That's the, I don't want to talk about how difficult it is to be a personality in crypto or anything, because it's awesome. It's so much fun. But that is probably the hardest thing, is telling people that are just coming into the market that you're selling out of the market on them.
And I think it's an important thing for us to realize that like the people who are watching now or soon enough, we're seeing the Google trends finally change. So it's new people. So it's, for me especially, I have to remember that these people, like, I assume that my viewers, because I've had the same awesome audience through the bear market, and that's only recently changed now where we have new viewers. So when I get the hate, which comes, and we're not complaining about the hate, it's fine, but when we get it, it's one thing to remember that these people are only seeing us for now. So if I talk about a coin that I like, oh, Connor's just trying to pump his backs. All right, fine. That's fair enough. You don't know my background. I have nothing to prove to you. If you want to look at the receipts, look at the channel, but that's fine. But then also when I'm selling, people people are going to call us the idiots. But we as long as I'm always the idiot, then I think I'm doing the right thing, right? Because we were the idiot. I actually posted an Instagram story just today saying, if you're about to message me to ask me if you should buy Bitcoin, don't. Because I told you 100 times in the last 2 years to buy it. And it's actually been 700 times if I made one video a day throughout the bear market, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's just we're always the idiot, right? So when I'm telling my friends at home, guys, just buy some Bitcoin, man. Anyone who asks me, just buy some. And like the same thing I've said to everyone, and this thesis has to change now, which is kind of annoying. But anyone who asks me about crypto, I know you don't want to sit in front of the charts like we do it all day long. So just buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, forget about it. Set an automatic buy on Coinbase, on Binance, on BitGet, on whatever exchange you like. Buy once a week. Buy an amount of money that you would throw away on a sandwich, or throw like I set up Danielle's, my girlfriend's mum, for 50 Aussie dollars a week, 25 pounds, right? Or about $35, let's say, a week. It's like, I said to them, what's the amount of money to you that is it's high enough that it's an investment, but it's also low enough that you just, okay, $35 a week goes to zero after a couple of years. I probably would have spent that on, a coffee a day or whatever it is, right? So we decided at $50 Aussie. And her portfolio, she started 2 years ago, something like that. And our portfolio today is worth $10,000. So my girlfriend's mum outperformed nearly every investor in the market entirely, right? Obviously right now is the euphoric point, so a lot of people are in profit, but as an investor, she, as someone who doesn't know anything about crypto, has outperformed the majority of people because they were trying to time when they bought Bitcoin. Most people are still sitting on the sidelines, and she's made probably $5,000, let's say, profit. Like, what? And all she did was click a few buttons and put a bit of throwaway money in, and now she has substantial money. So it's an exciting time.
That's funny. I did the exact same thing with my parents about a month or two before the Bitcoin ETF. So they're like a couple of years later in the cycle, in that investment journey. But yeah, they're doing the same thing. Like they're already up 100% plus or something. So yeah, I mean, that's probably good advice for anyone that's young. You could do that, put in $30 a week, and you're probably going to retire. You're going to be close to retiring if you put in the right assets by the time that you're of age. But Conor, thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to link to your channel underneath the video. And if you guys are sitting there thinking, okay, some of this was over my head, I just want to learn more about crypto in the first place, I do have a playlist that I'll put on the end screen that's for beginners, like everything from what is leverage trading to like how to even buy crypto. Like, what is crypto? Why would you buy Bitcoin? I'll put that on the end screen so you can weed through it yourself. But Conor, thanks so much for joining. We're going to have you on in the future here very soon.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.